April, May, June. Welcome back to Sound the Siren. I'm Xavier.
I'm Dylan. Welcome back to another NBA video, and today we'll be reviewing our NBA predictions at the start of the year and looking back on a couple. The Sixth Man of the Year and the Most Improved Player have been released. No MVP, no Coach of the Year, no Depoy as of yet, or I think there's one more Coach of the Year, so we can review them. But first, let's go to the Sixth Man of the Year, because at the start of the year, my top three were Carmelo Anthony, Dennis Schroeder, and Montrezl Harrell, which I was completely wrong on. Dennis Schroeder did start, and I think you might have said that. Carmelo had a good season, and so did Harrell, but unfortunately, Jordan Clarkson, he proved his worth at the Jazz, and they are the one seed because of him, so well done to him.
So my top three at the start of the season was I had Gallinari first.
Yeah.
We know he didn't. I don't think he quite lived up to the hype. I had Derrick Rose second, who did manage to become a finalist for it, and my third one was Spencer Dinwiddie, who I think would have been a finalist as well, but
Yeah.
unfortunately got injured at the start of the year. I did post my top six on my Instagram, and I did have Jordan Clarkson fourth, so I wasn't that far off. But we know he's a lock for Sixth Man of the Year, given that he's already won it. I do want to give a little shout out to Joe Ingles, though, who had an incredible year and came at top three in the Sixth Man of the Year voting as well. So well done to him.
Very underrated too. I never really hear him being talked about it, and then he's second in Six Man of the Year. And well played on his presentation to Jordan Clarkson on NBA and TNT. I thought that was an absolute great setup. So we love Joe, an Australian, and let's hope he plays well with the Olympic team as well, which is coming up in a few months. On to the most improved player, and who are your top three candidates? Say.
At the start of the year, I had Christian Wood was my winner, who came very close
Yeah,
before
he did.
injury.
Yep, yep.
And then I had Larry Markkinen and Lonzo Ball. So I think
Monzo.
Larry didn't quite take the step forward that I expected him to. And I think Lonzo didn't for the first half of the season, but his second half was incredible. We know he
Yeah.
dropped a career high twice, and he had like 5+ threes multiple times. So he, I think, was really good. He might even be a chance next year, but I think the winner of this will probably be Julius Randle, who I didn't have in my top three.
Yeah, Julius Randle, he was presented with it this morning, actually. I'm not too sure if you saw that, but Julius Randle won. I had Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, who was injured, OG Anunoby, who I think might have been injured for a little bit, and Jamal Murray, who's injured. So, not the greatest predictions by me. And Jamal Murray's unfortunate ACL injury, so hopefully he returns to form because he was making a step forward, obviously not as much as Randall was, but still nonetheless a great season by him.
Yeah, 100%. You
On
want
to
to go?
your Rookie of the Year.
So my top three, I think I did pretty good on this one. I had LaMelo Ball winning it. Anthony Edwards was second, and I had Obi Toppin third. So I don't think Obi Toppin lived up anywhere near to what the hype I was giving him. I don't even think he's starting for the Knicks at the moment. Well, I know he's not starting for the Knicks at the moment. But LaMelo Ball and Anthony Edwards were both really, really good this year. The winner's going to come from one of those two for sure. I think this is probably, out of all of the awards, the closest one in my opinion. So
Yeah.
I think both of them are legitimate options. We know Anthony Edwards has the durability, or he played more games, so he's got that argument in his favour. But LaMelo Ball's first half of the year was better than Anthony Edwards' second half, in my opinion, given that he was leading all rookies for points, steals, rebounds, and assists. I think I've still got to give it to him.
Yeah, the NBA future is in great hands. I had LaMelo, Anthony Edwards, and James Wiseman, who was my winner. So even before the injury, he wasn't close to LaMelo or Anthony Edwards. But a shout out to Jay Sean Tate. I think he's third or fourth in the rankings for the Rockets, and he was a revelation at the second half of the year. So just a great comeback from him. And there was one other who I can't remember off the top of my head, but I wanted to give him a shout out. But a lot of rookies who were proven.
Emmanuel Quickly was very,
Yeah,
very good this year from the
yeah,
Knicks.
he was very good too. So a lot of rookies that were unnoticed, I guess you could say, at the start of the year, and then just blossomed into some great players. And Quickly's handy in the playoffs for the Knicks, much like Obi Toppin at the moment. But I'd say it's very, very tight between LaMelo and Anthony Edwards. Who did you have winning it? Sorry.
LaMelo just.
Yeah.
Just.
Yeah, I'll agree. Just very, very close. So I think that should be released within the next week or so. On to the Coach of the Year.
So my top three for Coach of the Year at the start of the year was Steve Nash. I had winning it. I think he might be. I haven't actually looked at the top three for Coach of the Year, but he had a very good year with the Nets. Frank Vogel was my second option.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, the Lakers didn't live up to the hype given the injuries, so he didn't come that close. And Mike Malone was the other one who I don't think was top three either, but another pretty good year for the Nuggets.
I
But
had
my winner going into without obviously seeing who the real winner is, I think I'd have to pick between Tom Thibodeau and what's his name?
Monty Williams.
Yeah, and Monty Williams. So it's a really tough one as well. I think that both of those are really close, given that the Suns haven't made the playoffs for so long, same as the Knicks, and both dominated their conferences. I'd probably give it to Monty Williams, just given that they had the second best record in the NBA, but Tom Thibodeau has done wonders for the Knicks, getting them a playoff position.
For sure. Yeah, I had Steve Nash winning it, and I had Frank Vogel and Eric Spoelstra. So once again, my predictions proved to be way off, and I'll have Monty Williams winning it, but in the close second, Tom Thibodeau and Quinn Snyder, because the Jazz are the 1 seed, Knicks the 4th seed, but Monty Williams has done wonders for that Suns team. On to the Depoy. My 3 candidates were Anthony Davis, Giannis, and Bam Adebayo. I believe I had Anthony Davis winning it. I might be wrong. I might have had Giannis, but I don't think any of these 3 made the top 3, or maybe Giannis did. I know Bam was 4th because he obviously tweeted about it, and I think he said, what did he say? Do you remember? He tweeted about it recently.
I'm not sure, but I know the 3 finalists were Rudy Gobert, Ben Simmons, and Draymond Green. So I think all 3 of those are deserving, and I think Bam would be 4th in my opinion. But my top 3 were none of those 4. I had Anthony Davis first, Joel Embiid second, and Giannis third. Yeah. To be fair, I said I posted my top 6. I did that for all awards. My 4th was Bam, 5th was Ben Simmons, and 6th was Rudy Gobert. So I wasn't that far off. I think AD was probably winning it at the start of the year until he got injured. But I think now it's out of Ben Simmons and Rudy Gobert. And I think it's really difficult. Another really, really close one. I'd probably go Ben Simmons just. I know he's been campaigning heavily for it, but the fact that he does guard 1 through 5, I think it probably gives him a little bit of an advantage over Rudy Gobert. We know he's great at defending centers and he's the best rim protector in the league, but probably still have to go with Ben Simmons, but really close.
Yeah, I'll agree. Rudy Gobert, Ben Simmons, top 2 for sure. On to the MVP, I had Luka Doncic, LeBron, and Giannis, but obviously no one expected, or maybe a couple did, but Steph Curry, he returned to his prime form, and between him and Jokic, it's going to be very tight. I think I'll go with Jokic.
So my winner, or my top 3 before the season started was Luka, LeBron, and KD. I know LeBron and KD both got injured, so their cases were thrown out the window. Luka was very good this year, but we know he's not a finalist. I think the winner for me would be Jokic as well. He played every single game this year, which most of the other MVP candidates, if not all, did not do. So I think that's a big advantage for him. And just the stats that he's putting up are completely insane. But then again, to be fair for me, 4th I had Giannis, 5th I had Steph Curry, and 6th I had Joel Embiid. So I had 2 of the finalists in my top 6, but Jokic, who I think will be the winner, was not in it.
Yeah, isn't it funny how Jokic was predicted to not be in your top 6 and not in my top 3? It's funny, in hindsight, it's very odd, but now we look at that Nuggets team, and if they had Jamal Murray, who demonstrated some great fortitude after he tore his ACL, by the way, and is recovering well, I think they'd almost go Western Conference and beyond.
I do have a couple of 2 comments I wanted to point out from the post that I was talking about. One of them was from Brandon Smith, so it's a little call out to one of the friends of this podcast. It's, quote, "Stop putting Joel Embiid, please." That was 23 weeks ago at the start of the season, so that's looking a pretty dumb. And then the other pretty dumb comment is from you saying, Blake Griffin, a candidate, surely. Clearly, that was in response to Brandon. Yeah, clearly it's sarcastic, but we know Brandon's the biggest Blake Griffin fan. So. He probably agreed with you.
Yeah, he did, and he wouldn't have been happy today after Blake Griffin's
Yeah,
ankles were taken for
yeah, it
six.
was bad too. He fell over. That's not the best.
Some big dunks from Blake Griffin though, and definitely a helping hand for that Nets side. But yeah, that was definitely definitely a joke. But oh, we've gone a bit off track here, say. But anything else you want to mention?
That's nothing else from me.
All right.
Well, go Lakers. They're winning the championship, I think.
I'm just hoping Miami can peg a couple games back at the moment. Down 2-0, absolutely destroyed in that last game. But we'll see how it goes. And Nets Bucks shaping up for the next round, so that should be competitive. Our predictions are looking good so far, minus the Grizzlies win.
Are there any predictions that you would like to change from the ones that you made in our last video?
I think I said Bucks in 6 or Heat in 7, so I'll stick with that because I do think Miami will win a game. Is there any others? Knicks. I think I said the Hawks in 6, which is going well, and Trey Young with a nice flow for the win.
There's one that I would like to change, and that might be a little bit controversial, but I think I'm going to change my tip officially to the Mavericks. I've rated them pretty highly all year, and they've managed to come out in 2 big games at the Clippers' home court and win both of them. So I think I'm going to have to change my tip to them.
I think you could even put a point forward that the Mavericks could win in 5 games.
Yeah, maybe. Definitely. The next 2 games are both at home for them, so
Even 4.
definitely big. But I had one other thing I wanted to say. Is it's about the Lakers, and it's not about a tip, but something that I saw today that I found really, really interesting is that it's the first playoff game that anyone on our roster will play at Staples Center, Game 3 against the Suns. So
There you go.
I find that incredible, given that so many players have been in the league for so long. But I guess they were so bad for so long, so players like KCP, who came before the LeBron era, wouldn't have played in the playoffs. And then last year, we know it was in the bubble. So those games obviously weren't at Staples Center, but incredible nonetheless.
Just one tip change for me. Jazz in 6 instead
What
of
did
4.
you originally have?
Jazz in 4, but Donovan Mitchell missed the first game.
Yeah, for sure.
I do believe the Grizzlies can take a game at home, so I'll say 4-2 for the Jazz, but that's about it for me. Apart from the Mavericks as well, who are looking in good shape and could pose a threat to the Jazz, who they would play second round.
Yeah, that'll be a really good series. I think if we react to our preseason predictions when we did the tier maker for how good each team will be coming into the season, I had the Mavericks on contenders. So a lot of people might not, or may have thought I was a little bit of a fool. But if they beat the Clippers, who a lot of people had as contenders, and then they beat the Jazz, who were the 1-seeded team in the whole league, it might see a few changes of opinion.
Yeah, for sure. So shout out to Brandon and Blake Griffin, but that's for this episode, and we'll see you next time. Make sure to follow at sts.podcast and the usuals, which I'll put in the description. But thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.